Ladies and gentlemen, here we are. It's over. Just like that. First team out. Oh, who the fuck am I kidding? You guys know exactly what time it is. I'm ready to cook a little bit. Let's get going. First off, what the fuck was that? Seriously, please. I'd love a response. I cannot wait to hear the exit interviews from this team. Because this team had quit on itself before it even stepped on the ice. It was very evident. Thank God Connor Hellebuck did not have to witness the last half of that third period because he didn't even play for the final 6 minutes of that game. Good. He didn't deserve it. Kind of fitting that probably Connor Hellebuck's last game in a Jets uniform. He doesn't even play for the final 6 minutes of the game. Because, not did he get pulled, but because the team was so far back that they thought with 8 minutes left, pulling the goaltender was the right idea. Oh, hey, they scored. It wasn't a shutout. Big fucking deal. That's a great moral victory, lads. That's going to get it done in the offseason. That's going to keep them happy on the golf course going into training camp next year. This core is dead. This version of this team is dead. Embrace the rebuild. Like, look, we all knew that this could be a possibility, that the Jets could lose. We all knew that this could happen. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was super optimistic going into this series. I was. I don't know if you could tell with the recap, with the preview that I made going into the series, how optimistic I actually was, but I thought that the Jets really had a chance. I thought they matched up well on paper with the Knights, even with Mark Stone coming back off IR for Game 1. I thought that it was good. Game 1 happens. The Jets absolutely fucking dominate. They played great hockey. It looks like they finally are finding their stride after finally making the playoffs in Game 81 out of 82. But no. That's not what happens. They shit the bed in Game 2. Wasn't as terrible. But, you know what? Doesn't matter. 1-1 hockey game going back to Winnipeg. You get the whiteout and the entire city and province of Manitoba behind you. It's 1-1. Most Jets fans, including me, did not expect you to steal a game in Vegas. So, hey, let's make this a series. Let's go for it. I come out to Winnipeg for it, and I'm just going to say this right now. I do not regret a second of my time in Winnipeg for this playoff run. It was an absolute blast. The people I was with made this. And also the fact that the Jets somehow in Game 3 decided to shit the bed in front of the home crowd for basically 45 minutes of hockey just to come back and tie it in the most dramatic fashion we've seen since going back to the Nashville Game 3 in Winnipeg. Like... that, to blow it like, and then they blow it in double overtime. Double fucking overtime on a Dylan Sandberg turnover. And that was it. That was the last moment of Jets playoff glory that we got to witness with that core. A last-ditch effort to tie the game, which they do on the backs of Adam Lowry, who was a fucking beast in the playoffs, and is probably going to be one of the only guys back next year from this original core that went to the Western Conference Final, and not to mention the fact the guy that scored the first ever playoff goal way back when in the Anaheim series years ago now, he's probably going to be one of the only guys left with Josh Morrissey too. Even then, Josh Morrissey didn't play in that playoff series. It's just... if you would tell me that Adam Lowry would be the guy left from that team, I would be laughing. We're here. It's over. First team out. Fuck. Like, it's just pathetic. Like, we haven't even talked about fucking Game 4 yet. The atrocity that was Game 4. Oh, we're gonna get into it. I'm still been pissed off about this. It's been bothering me since it happened. And even leaving Winnipeg my last day, the night after the game, everything, it's been not sitting well with me, and I've got to let this out. True North is a fucking disgrace. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, the whiteout party, I was so fucking hyped to finally experience a whiteout party, and don't get me wrong, it wasn't the most terrible experience I've ever had, but from what it was to what it became was an absolute joke. just true north, trying to drain your pennies, cramming you in. Hell, we couldn't even get into the Game 3 whiteout party with our game tickets because the scanner wasn't working. It was only accepting the barcode, and we couldn't access the barcode for our tickets. It was just, we did not have that option with the way that the tickets were. It was an Apple Wallet ticket. The way the transfer came in, that was it. We just didn't have the barcode. So we couldn't get into the damn whiteout party to go and celebrate with all you guys out there and have some fun, but we could get into the arena hours beforehand. So, again, just great organization there. But then for Game 4, last 4 minutes of that game, ladies and gentlemen, were blacked out. We didn't even get the signal out there for the whiteout party. So you had 5,000 people that paid $10 a ticket to get in, just sitting there, standing there, when their team's down, watching nothing. A black screen that says Winnipeg whiteout, because they couldn't get any signal. If you watch the travel vlog, go check it out if you haven't already, because that was the only good thing that came from this playoff run. Don't believe me. You can see I'm literally using my phone to zoom into the upper deck of Canada Life Center to watch it on a concourse TV, and even then I could only see half the damn TV, so I could see the scoreboard, so at least I could know what was happening. And I didn't miss much, I'll tell you that right now, because we ended up losing 4-2, and then on top of that, the icing on the fucking cake, what happens? Downtown Winnipeg is lit up from Canada Life Center, not only inside on a 4-2 final, but because they thought it would be a great idea to light off fireworks after a 4-2 loss. Are you kidding me? Like, a 4-2 loss, and you're like, woo, we're gonna celebrate with fireworks, boys, in the playoffs. Everyone get hyped. Like, it was the most pathetic thing ever. That was how it ended, my playoff experience, watching fireworks go off in the background as I leave downtown Winnipeg with the boys after a 4-2 loss. Like, it couldn't be more poetic of an ending to this last few years of what this Winnipeg Jets team had become, in my opinion. And I was glad that I was there to witness it, because that was the moment that it felt like the entire fan base had all the life sucked out of them. Those were those diehard fans, the ones that paid money to go down to the whiteout. And that's the experience they get for Game 4. After the team ties it, loses in double overtime in dramatic fashion, Josh Morrissey goes down. They have a chance. Oh, no, Mark Scheifele goes down in Game 4 instead, and you're going to lose 4-2. Wonderful. Then we get to Game 5. Back in Vegas, things are looking absolutely horrific going into the lineup. Yay, we get Nikolai Ehlers back. Better late than never, I guess. But doesn't matter because they just got lit up. Lit up. It was 4-0 for almost the entirety of this game until we pulled a goalie with 8 minutes left. And then what, we got a moral goal? Oh, should I say that there was almost 4-2 because Blake Wheeler decided to use his hand to win a face-off because he thought he was smarter than 1,000 cameras pointing at the face-off circle. He thought it could be smooth and slick and get that pass. But Wheeler, you ain't cooking tonight. That was probably going to be your last point anyway. And we actually witnessed Blake Wheeler's last point in the Jets uniform probably. But even then, it's like Kyle Connor and Pierre-Luc Dubois, the two guys that would have got those goals if Dubois' goals stand. Of course, they show up at that moment of the game when it's dead, when they've been invisible since Game 1. Like, it's just icing on the fucking cake, right? Like, these guys have been nowhere when it really mattered. And then all of a sudden, we're done. We pull the goalie because, hey, that's a great idea. Now's going to be the opportunity to finally get things going, and they're going to show up and play. Like, just the icing on the cake. This game just encapsulated everything wrong with the Jets. And I'm not even angry. Like, I'm not yelling because we lost. I'm yelling because it's just too fucking poetic. Like, if I thought the Jets were going to lose, I thought they'd go out swinging and lose in Game 6 potentially. That's really what I thought we might see. But they shit the bed in such a glorious fashion that it puts the 2018 Western Conference Final run to shame. And I thought the Habs series was bad, or the St. Louis series, or the Calgary play-in series. I'm just kidding, guys. All the playoff rounds have been shit since we last played Vegas. And of course, the icing on the cake is Vegas knocked us out in our year. And now this year, with the final year of this core, it's Vegas again, putting the final nail that is the Winnipeg Jets coffin and burying them. They have officially the pallbearers of the Winnipeg Jets. They're the murderers and the pallbearers because they just buried them in 6 feet of dirt, and it's done. Back on the golf course now. I don't even know what else to say, ladies and gentlemen. You know how I'm feeling right now. I know you're all feeling the same way because it's just so poetic. It's just too poetic. Like, of course this is how things go down. This is it. Like, Blake Wheeler, the man on the wall. I should have turned these jerseys around because that's Connor Hellebuck right there. There's an Ehlers and Blake Wheeler in the corner. You can see the C. Josh Morrissey here, the invisible man, because he was injured and hurt. And yeah, that's exactly the only way to put it, because other than that, he was awesome. But either way, this team is just done. Like, they're literally done. Like, this is potentially the last game of Blake Wheeler, Mark Scheifele, Pierre-Luc Dubois, Connor Hellebuck, all the other bums in the bottom 6 that probably won't get an opportunity, and then maybe even on the defensive side, and Neil Pionk potentially, maybe even Brendan Dillon. Like, Dylan DeMello, shout out to you for being the last man off the ice too. I thought that was really Good moment to see that he was the only player that stayed behind to wait for the coaching staff to go through the tunnel. Last one off. I like that. I thought maybe Lowry would have been that guy after the run, or even Wheeler. But no, Wheeler was probably the first one off. He's like, fuck, thank God. I don't have to spend any more time here. Same with Dubois, probably. He's been already rehearsing for his French since that first interview after game 1. Guy's been ready. He's got it on his mind. Quebecois. That's where he's going with the next election. I don't actually know what his election votes are. It doesn't matter because he's not our problem anymore. Dubois is gone. All these guys are gone. Brad Lambert next year. Give it to me. Danny Zilkin's a Manitoba Moose. Let's get it. Billy Heinola, can't forget about him. Arvid Holm, the backup in tonight's game, the future starter of next year because the Birdman decided to go off to Russia. Just, I don't even, like, it just sucks. Like, straight up, like, the way that this had to go down, it sucks, but it's also so poetic. It really is. I can't get enough of that. I can't stop thinking about how poetic it is. This is the fashion that they lose. They don't go out fighting. They don't go out swinging. They don't go out battling, trying to prove everyone that is involved with this team that actually has a job in management wrong, like, you know, all of us wrong, and prove them right, excuse me, that this team could fight, they could try to win, and try to force a deep series against the #1 team in the West. But instead of that, the Jets folded under pressure. Injuries, no depth. And again, Chevy, looking at you, this is the exact fucking reason why fans wanted you to go out and trade for more players, because we knew that this type of stuff would happen. The injuries were evident all year long, yet you thought that Nino Niederreiter and Nemestikov, actually I'm not even going to shit on Nemestikov and Niederreiter because they played pretty well at times. Like, you can't ask Niederreiter to come in and be the life of the top 6. That's not his job. Like, it's not. Niederreiter's supporting gas, and he played well. Domestikov played way, way above what I expected him to bring to this team, offensively and defensively, and I loved him. And maybe if we're going to suck next year and we need to fill a spot, give him a 1-year contract or whatever. Keep Domestikov around. I like that. He seemed to have good chemistry with Lowry and Ehlers at times. Why not roll that as a top line if we're trying to tank? Let's give it to me. Give it to me. Vlad Domestikov with Lowry and Ehlers as the top line next year. I could see a Stanley Cup happening easily. But, like, Connor Hellebuck doesn't even get to fucking play the last minutes on the ice. Like, the man comes out for a handshake to his former backup, says, fuck, must be nice playing for a competent team. He's like, yeah, it is. Thanks for helping me get better. See you on the golf course, because you know we're not beating fucking Edmonton or the Kings. No way the Knights are beating those teams, man. They wait till they play a real team. The Jets showed up for one game. Vegas did not expect it, shit the bed, and then Vegas was like, oh, let's not underestimate these guys. And then sure enough, very quickly on into game 2, they realized, oh crap, we just really underestimated them in game 1. These guys are nothing, and they really just showed up and kicked their ass after that because they could score depth goals out of their ass, but we couldn't get we could barely get anything from the top 6, yet you've got the 4th line goons on the Knights getting goals in game 3, staring down fans. Like, come on. Oh my god, like, brutal. But you know what? It's just the way it goes. We all knew that this could happen, and now it's time for the future. There's gonna be so much content I'm gonna be bringing you guys on my thoughts for this. I can't wait, but, like, I'm fucking done with this core. Like, I'm gonna take a break from hockey. I'm done with these playoffs. I can't anymore. I don't give a shit. I'm clearing my schedule. I'm gonna watch some baseball. It's gonna be a good time for me. Summer's getting ready out here on the West Coast. We already have some good weather. Because I'm done. I'm done with this team right now. I'm gonna take a fat break from them. We're gonna cover the offseason and the guys that actually excite me. The Lambert. Stay tuned for a Lambert video coming out really soon because that's gonna be fun. Because I can actually talk about great hockey player prospects that we might actually be able to see because all these fucking loser quitters are gonna be off this team next year. Like, it just. For the way, like, Blake Wheeler gave his life for the city, it felt like, for like a decade. Mark Scheifele, the first ever draft pick. Like, you know, I'm closing my eyes right now. I know you can't see, but it's just cringe that this is where their careers went to, and this is the send-off that they're giving the city and that we get. Like, it's just bad. Like, you can say whatever you want about, oh, Mark Scheifele. I like Blake Wheeler. There's a fucking poster hanging on my wall. Like, I like Blake Wheeler. He's a GOAT. He's the Jets' GOAT. He's just not that good anymore. So don't come at me, right? Like, you know, that's just how it is. That doesn't mean that this doesn't suck. I just gotta get that out there now. Like, it sucks to see this. Like, they're gone. They're gone. Like, this team is gonna be so different next year, and that's exciting. But at the same time, it's just like a nuke went off over MTS Center. I know they weren't even there right now, but that's what it feels like. Like, this core is done. Like, the faces of the first ever era of this franchise are gone now. Like, are really gone. Are gonna be after this summer. Like, I don't know if they all get dealt, but you know that at least half those. Dubois gone. Wheeler could either retire or he's gone. Scheifele is 100% gone. No way Scheifele and Dubois are here next year, so you know you're down your top 2 centers. Like, Cole Perfetti's #1 guy next year. Fuck, we better hope he stays healthy. Like, Hellebuck's not going to want to stick around. Even then, he's going to ruin our tank. We're not going to be able to get good picks with Hellebuck in that because he's going to steal games like he has for the last fucking decade here he's been playing. Just brutal. Just brutal. Brutal. I'm going to end this off, though, guys. Like, fuck. This... Poetic justice. Poetic justice finally at last of this franchise. This is what you get, Mark Chipman, Kevin Cheveldayoff, for believing in these bums. You know, I believed in them too because I'm a fan. And at the end of the day, when the Jets I see a hype video for the Jets, it's playoff time, I get excited. I can't help it. I'm a fan. But when the dust settles, fuck, I knew this was going to happen. I knew this was going to happen 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, a month ago when the Jets weren't going to make the play. I wasn't planning on going to Winnipeg because I didn't think they were going to be there. So I'm glad I got to go and experience that last run. It's going to be a memory I'll hold on to for a long time because I think it encapsulated perfectly the final years of this core of the Winnipeg Jets. And yeah, guys, what a ride. What a ride. We were first in the West. Barely made the playoffs. Eliminate first team out. First team out. Get ready for some bombs to fall this offseason on the MTS Center. The Canada Life Center, whatever you want to call it. Because this core is done. End of an era. It's been a hell of a ride. Peace, love, and positivity as always. That's all, folks. What the hell now? It'll all be over.